Oh boy, boy.
Back in the frame.
Oh boy.
Water is very important for you.
Not sponsored. Tag off.
Tag off. Fuck it, tag off. Tag off. Fuck it, tag off. I think I got everything open though, man. I think everything
I'm good to go.
Good. In that case, let's get the show started with a microphone check.
Hello.
1, 2, 3,
Hello.
4.
Hello.
Microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You know what it is?
Welcome to another episode of the True North Views Podcast.
That's TNV for short.
Episode 80 motherfucking 6.
86. Jeez.
Earlier this week I had something in my head. It was like 8 plus 6 is
14.
It is, yes, it's 14. It's 14.
1 plus 4
then I had some shit. 1 plus 4
is 5.
5. And then
I don't know
something that brought me to 99. And then I was going to say plus 1, we keep it 100, YG 400 or so. I don't know. I was
good job on the connection there.
I was going somewhere with that,
YG 400.
Somehow, some way, it didn't work. But this is going to be a great episode. True North Views Podcast.
Yes.
We are your go-to podcast to start your week.
Yeah,
your favorite podcast, your favorite podcasters' favorite podcast.
Say less.
Some would even call us Toronto's official, unofficial podcast.
Say what lie.
Jeez.
You want to know why?
Please.
Because we're the kings of dope criticism.
Ooh.
I thought you were doing it with your mouth. Not the...
I knew my shit was going to delay.
The pharaohs of prolific opinion.
Ooh.
The emperors of elevated thoughts.
Wow. How convenient is fucking that?
It's your boy Harris here.
And you know me. I'm the skirt master. Mr. Triple Double No Assist. He's 64 mil from the TTC. Because I help that turnstile. I'm an NBA champion. And you can call me Just Shola.
And we're giving you our views from the perspective, of course, a couple of first-generation Canadians,
which
we are,
couple
of first-generation Torontonians,
which we are,
and we want to be talking about what's really buzzing,
buzz.
What people are talking about, and most importantly, what people are not talking enough about.
I'm gonna try to hit the mic less this episode. Because I know I did it a lot. It takes getting used to it. I move a lot.
I thought about that, actually. I'm like, yeah, this guy hit the mic bare times.
I move a lot.
Try to blame me a couple times. I was like, yo, what's up with that? Now, this is our year-end show.
Yes, it is.
This is our award show, so to speak.
We should have worn a suit and tie.
We should have.
With the new year, too.
My suit and tie. Is that shit on Spotify? They'll take it down if I put it.
Definitely. That's is Jay-Z's on that track, right?
And Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, they're definitely taking that shit down as soon as we upload it to...
That's a takedown.
to your hard drive.
That's a takedown right away. But yeah, man, it's our 2019 True North Views Podcast Awards.
Yes, sir.
This one's going to be a lot of fun now. I guess before we get into the award show, still got to ask by tradition, how was your week, sir?
You know, it actually wasn't that bad because other than Monday, I didn't work.
Tell me more.
Christmas was lit. Christmas Eve was lit.
Lit me? It was lit me?
No, it was just lit.
Lit me?
It's Christmas and it was lit.
Litmus?
I watched You, the whole second season.
Okay.
Which I know you're watching currently.
I'm on episode 8, so I have 2 episodes left.
I'm not going to say anything.
I kind of know where it's going to go, but don't say anything.
I'm not going to say anything.
Don't say anything.
I continued on Prison Break.
Prison Break.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'd watched season 1 earlier in the year, so I started season 2 again. I'm like halfway through that.
Okay.
That's going good. Again, I'm on vacation right now, so a lot of waking up late and just...
Oh, man.
Just, a lot of chilling.
I hear that.
Another week of that coming, so...
I hear that.
I'm not even complaining. How's your week?
Week was a very interesting end to my week.
Oh, I bet it was.
So, I mean, when was Christmas? Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Okay. But anyways, whenever Christmas was, that was good. Family, mom's house. Then I went to my brother's house afterward for the after party where there was more food.
After the party is the
super
after
full.
party. Yeah.
Trying to think what happened. When did we do Secret Santa?
That was on Monday.
That was on Monday.
Yes.
And I got my shit, my vape.
Hey, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Shout out to your Secret Santa.
Shout out to Secret Santa. That shit is sick.
Can I see that for a second?
Yeah, of course. Take a look.
I see. Because mine looks a little different.
Take a motherfucking look. What else did I do? On Friday.
It's-
On Friday, the Slow Jam Party.
Yeah, well, how was that?
That Slow Jam Party, I should say. Who's it hosted by? Or who's it organized by?
Marlon Palmer. Okay,
It's hosted by Marlon Palmer.
Okay, I seen you on everybody's snap.
He's on the mic for sure. It's DJ'd by
Female, male?
by a woman. Let me see.
Okay. Shout out to the female DJs out there. I love to see that.
She's so sick, bro. She killed it. She killed it. I can't find
it. Shoot.
I can't find
backwards. That's red rum.
Whatever. I can't find it, but no, it was good. It was good. It was a slow jam party. It was a great combination of music. At one point, I'm like, I know we're gonna get a little bit of reggae in here at some point. It turned into a mini reggae party, mini dancehall party of sorts. That's funny. Otherwise, it was a great combination of the nostalgic R&B, the old R&B, which is different than the nostalgic R&B, and new
R&B. I was hearing some new stuff there.
So it was really good, really
fun. How was
the
crowd?
It was packed.
Where was it?
Foremost.
Phoenix?
Not the Phoenix. It was a bigger venue. Very big venue, bro. Very big venue. And it was just packed. I don't know the name of it. It was on College, though.
Okay.
Little Italy area.
Shout out to Little Italy.
And they're doing another one in 2 months, in February.
R&B again?
Yeah, it's a series of parties. This is not a one-time thing that they do.
Oh, yeah, well, you're going to make R&B today, rap tomorrow, Afrobeat next week.
It's always that slow jam party.
Okay, right? Fair enough. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to whoever's hosting.
So it was real good. I'm gonna find the name later on, but it was a real good event for sure. Beyond that, shit, man, just relax.
Vacation mode, no?
A few things at work. I forgot I had a couple appointments, man. I'm not gonna lie.
For Friday?
In general, throughout the week.
Did you miss them?
So not that I missed them, but
last minute.
Basically, let's just use an arbitrary time. I'm going to use noon and 1 p.m.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I was supposed to have a meeting at 1 p.m., right? And I woke up on the day and I'm like, I know I have something.
One of those.
I know I have something. Those. And it was 12 o'clock at the time. And another person had called me because they wanted to see me. And they're like, can I...
Am I getting that booty call at 12 in the afternoon?
Definitely not. And they're like, can I come in for... or can I... Are you in the office today? I want to come in. And I'm trying to skate my way out of it. I'm like, actually I'm and then I looked at my schedule.
And you see that 1
and
PM
I'm like,
there.
Actually, I'm on my way to someone else's house right now. But we can do, 3 hours from now or whatever the amount of time was. And so I went from thinking that I was about to back home smoking legal while continuing to watch you. Meanwhile, I had to get up, scramble, throw on a little polo zip, dress pants, dress shoes.
Something just to look somewhat professional.
Look a Friday look, make my way to the office. So I had a few of those. That was pretty annoying. But
at least you didn't miss the interview. Or not the interview, sorry, the appointment.
Work never stops, and we should never stop working. You know what I'm saying? Got to get that money. Enough about our days, enough about our weeks. Like I said, this is our year-end show. I do pretty much want to get right into it. So we got 15 awards.
15.
We got 3 different categories. The 3 categories are going to be we're going to do the artist category first.
Artist first.
Then or the individual awards, if you want to call it that. Then we're going to do our what we call specials awards. And then we're going to do what we call our album awards.
Yes.
Right? And of course, we're going to end it off with our top albums for the year. And we have a little bit of bonus material as well. So stay tuned for that.
Stay to the end.
We'll get into that for sure. Now, before we start our year-end list, while I was doing my research in terms of what my selections were, I came across a DJ Booth. They created a top 75 list of albums for the year.
Okay.
And not that I'm going to read the albums to you guys, but what I do want to read is their disclaimer. Because I think their disclaimer is important. Yes. It's actually one of the more refreshing things that I've seen in an article.
Okay.
I don't know if it's done regularly, and this is just the one time I decided to read. But I read it and I was like, oh, okay. So
I watched a few YouTubers that did a disclaimer that says, "Hey, this is our." Well, anyway, just they
yeah,
put a
and then
disclaimer
I
before.
kind of noticed it like after the fact on YouTube. So I'm
okay.
like, huh, what? It's just like one of those things that
You don't normally read. People just say,
you
"Here's our
only
album."
notice it
Boom.
when you
It's
see
there.
it or when
Yeah.
you figure it out, or has it always been there? But anyways, so
What's the disclaimers?
DJ Booth has the following disclaimer. We're going to take it. So they talked about their eligibility period. The eligibility period for this list that we're going to give, or our recipients, I should say, of course, is from January 1st, 2019,
Yes.
up until December 28th.
Makes
Therefore,
sense.
if Rihanna drops something the day this episode releases,
Honest
we
cheese.
know it's going to be Project of the Decade, Project of the Year. We know Riri's Artist of the Year.
Artist of the decade.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
So we cannot control this. These selections go only up until
The
December 28th,
That's it.
2019.
Done.
Right? We're not on any payroll.
Hopefully not yet.
Right? So, we're not on the payroll of quote unquote insert popular artist here.
No Drake. Even though we're
But
from Toronto, Drake
we'd
don't
love
pay
to
us.
be.
Yes.
So if you know anyone, have them hit us up.
For real. For real.
We'd love to be. We'd love to say that the worst album is on our top list if we get paid.
Yeah, babe, money talks, man.
We'll sell out.
Money talks. And money can yell sometimes.
Third, and this is probably the most important one.
Yes, big one.
This list is our list.
Yes.
It's your list.
Yep.
It's my list.
Yep.
It's our list.
Mhm.
Right? We don't expect you, or we don't want you to agree with everything that's on our list.
Thank you.
Let's see what else he said. With every album selection or our ordering, we do want you to discover a few great albums that you probably missed throughout the past 12 months.
And you probably will.
And I think we have a very eclectic
We do.
list, if you ask me. And finally, when we use the term honorable mention, we're not just going to get cute with it and use it for everyone and anyone.
No.
We really will intend to only use it for artists or projects that we had a hard time keeping off our list
Agreed.
because we didn't have a top 25 or
A top 500.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
I realized low key I could put together a top 50 albums list.
You could have.
I couldn't believe it.
You could have.
I wrote in my notes, I just kept naming albums and I had like 35 off the top of the head. And I'm sure I could have went back to some of the ones that I forgot. But like I said, man, let's get this award show
Let's get it started.
First, let me do a little
Let's
bit
get
of
it started.
I didn't know what I was
Oh,
going to
that
go
was
with
solid.
either.
That kind of sounded solid. No lie.
Did not know what I was going to go with either. But like I said, man,
And the winner is.
I'm going to do that again for this year. So it is what it is. So let's get into our People Awards, our individual awards, our artist awards, our individual awards, like I said.
Yes.
And where do you want to start? Shall we start with the top or the bottom? Because I'm having a hard time making a selection.
I was thinking about that too. Let's start with the bottom.
Let's start with the bottom.
Yeah, let's start with the
I
bottom.
feel you. And let me get on my damn tablet because
It would be easier to scroll.
honestly, I'm just like
doing all of this.
on my fucking 11-inch MacBook
I had to
Air.
like zoom the hell into my
Jesus
screen.
Christ. Okay, so People Awards.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna start with the bottom,
Yes.
right? Actually, let's start with the top.
Okay, let's do it.
I think that makes more sense.
You know what?
More formal.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
You know what? Yeah, and people stay for the top, and then just have them stay for the rest because the top is
Exactly.
good.
That's true.
I like that.
And that is how you do live production on film.
Yes.
So let's get into it. Rapper of the year. We're starting big. We're starting heavy hitting.
Straight to the point.
Tell me who your rapper of the year is.
I gave 2019 to the baby.
Mm.
I think
Mm.
the baby just, especially in the rap, he made rap pop, and he makes pop rap, and that shit slaps.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's literally it. He came out 2 albums, both fire. You know, I need to say
That
this.
is true.
It's not the last time you're gonna see him on any of my lists. Just saying.
Shit. All right, man. 2019 TNV Award winner, Shola's Rapper of the Year,
Goes to the baby.
goes to the baby.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So let's give him a round of applause.
Oh shit! He's gonna slap me. My bad.
Wow, barely
Barely, it's not there.
but nonetheless, right? My rapper of the year is Freddie Gibbs. So I
Okay.
give that one to Freddie Gibbs, and I give it to him almost solely based on having the best rap album.
I've heard.
And you know, we'll definitely have a little bit more discussion around that. You'd be surprised at what I'm saying now versus my list, but nonetheless, I think he has the best rap album, and I'm just gonna load up the list of songs here, because what I think he does very well on this album is the album has enough, let's call it storytelling to it, where you enjoy it as an album, and instead of treating it like a mixtape or treating it like a playlist.
Gotcha.
The features we know are fire. So obviously I'm talking about his Bandana album with Madlib. You know, in terms of features, we have Pusha T, Killer Mike, Anderson .Paak, Yasin Bey, Black Thought. Just heavy features.
Yeah, those are big.
He doesn't fill them in. He doesn't throw them in. He doesn't waste.
It's not
any
like he's
features.
searching for like a hit. Like he's not just using the name to draw a crowd.
Exactly. And amongst each of those songs, he's performing at the level of those people that are included on that.
That's
and again,
good.
to have a song with Mos Def and Black Thought and to be performing at that level, it
Shows
says a lot,
talents, yeah.
Right. I can't get into it this week, but we're for Blank Canvas Creatives. You already know what it is. BKC. You stupid. Are you dumb? Which one? We were doing a playlist challenge, obviously. You know,
what was this week's title?
back
You want
to
again?
back,
Okay, this guy's feeling himself.
I mean, it was a blowout.
Jeez, that wasn't even close.
It was a blowout. It was bad. It was like 90% to 10%.
Wow, man, say he's like the 98, 99 Chicago Bulls right now.
Not the 98, 99.
What,
Am I?
I don't know. Which one won 10?
Oh, yeah, I guess I am.
97
I'll take
and
that.
10.
I can't have the 08 Celtics, the most overrated fucking powerhouse team ever.
Nah. You get 99 Celtics. You get 98, 99 Bulls.
But this week's theme was bars. Just bars.
Straight bars.
Right? And I was like, what do I call my list? So I knew a few things. I knew I wanted to start my playlist with Dumb It Down by Lupe Fiasco.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, Classes in Session is the name of my playlist. At first.
Teaching them.
Teaching them. Dumb it down. Let me dumb it down for you guys, right? And then I'm like, bars. Bar exam, semicolon, because that's my favorite punctuation mark.
Now.
Classes in Session. And I start with Dumb It Down.
Dumb it down for them.
And I end it with Rakim, I Ain't No Joke.
Okay.
Because I'm playing with them at this point.
Jeez.
Right? I'm doing the bonus track thing again, where I do a 9-track album and then have one bonus song. I'm playing an old song where lyrics or where bars are still very prevalent, and I'm letting them know I ain't no joke.
Yo, let them know.
So I'll leave it at that.
I'm going for that 3
I'll leave it at that. But
a
a very pivotal song on that playlist was Education by Freddie Gibbs, Yasin Bey, Mos Def, and Black Thought.
Okay.
Because it's there in terms of the bars, right? So I just think that I like the way Freddie Gibbs put it together this year. That project with Madlib, it's not the first time he's worked with Madlib, but sometimes timing just has a very important or is a very important element when it comes to an of the year type of recipient winner. And I think this was just great timing for Freddie Gibbs.
Hey, shout out to Freddie Gibbs.
He came out at a time. He came out in a time where there wasn't a lot of music to distract. And it allowed us to really take in this album. I think this album is acclaimed the way that it needs to be.
Okay.
Whether it wins any awards or not, you can say it was critically acclaimed. And I think
it was.
For that reason, I have Freddie Gibbs, I should say, as my rapper of the year.
Hey, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? So let's give a round of applause for Freddie Gibbs.
Shout out to the Gibbs Boy.
I don't think he ever wants to be called the Gibson.
Yo, I don't know why.
I don't think that's the case. I don't know why you said it.
I don't know, man.
So talk to me then about your R&B Artist of the Year. This is going to be our second award out of 15 R&B Artist of the Year.
I had no one else to give this to.
Damn.
Because I don't listen to a lot of R&B, as you know.
Yep, I know.
So I gave it to Drake.
Wow.
I'll tell you why.
Ooh.
No, I'm going to tell you why. There actually is a reason why.
Okay.
Because a lot of the songs he dropped on Care Package. All them singing songs, all those old songs.
Listen, man, it's not your lane. I'm cool with it.
Yo, this is my list, so fuck all you guys.
You're right. We gave the disclaimer.
Yes.
We gave the disclaimer. It's your list. Drake is your R&B Artist of the Year.
Yes, but I'll let you have this category because
we will give an applause for Drake again. 2019 TNV Award winner, Shola's R&B Artist of the Year, none other than Drizzy Drake.
Toronto's very own.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
My R&B Artist of the Year, you think it would be Snow Allegra.
I actually would think it would be Snow Allegra.
But it's not. Okay. I have my R&B Artist of the Year as Summer Walker.
Tell me why.
And the reason why I have
she was hella late for her concert.
That wasn't her fault. And I've learned that. And yeah, I don't think we can say, you know what I mean? But anyways, so with Summer Walker, I think the reason why I have her as my R&B Artist of the Year is because, you know, this is not her first year making music, but she is a very new artist.
She is.
And she's immediately established herself in that A-class territory in terms of, just in terms of an artist, right? In terms of how she's deemed, how she's listened to, you know, her mind share, her, you know, market share, so to speak, right? In terms of like how people comment on Twitter and how people react. People react to things that Summer Walker does, right?
She does. Yes, they
and
do.
On top of that, she released a phenomenal album.
I've heard.
Right? She releases a phenomenal album. A lot of people call it an instant classic. I'm not opposed to that. I wouldn't call it a classic. I think there are albums that are better than her album this year. But I will say her album was definitely a top-notch R&B project for the year.
Shout out to her, man.
And a top-notch project in general for the year. But for me, again, I give her quick ascent is kind of more valuable to me than other albums that might be slightly better. Right? So for me, that's going to be my reason for giving it to Summer Walker. And like I said,
shout out to Summer Walker, man.
2019 True North Views Podcast Awards R&B Artist of the Year. I got Summer Walker.
Always late to her concert.
Let's get into this next one. So let's do... We did rapper.
We did R&B.
We did R&B artist. We're not going to go into every genre because that'll take forever.
So let's just do the quick ones. Folk.
Who's your Afro beats? Who's your, you know what I'm saying?
Blues.
So we just say, you know what? Who's your overall artist of the year?
Yes.
And this could be a repeat. This could be a whole new thing. Whoever you want to name for this. But award number 3. Overall Artist of the Year. Who is your MVP?
I'll let you start this one.
Jeez. Okay.
Give me your MVP.
I'm going to give it to Snow Allegra.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give my MVP vote to Snow Allegra. And the reason I'm going to do that is because this year she finally put it together.
She did. You're not the one that's told me that.
I feel like as someone who has listened to Snow Allegra for several years, I couldn't identify who her fan was prior to this album.
And now you can.
I didn't know she had a widespread listening prior to this album.
Neither did
I didn't know she could
sing her ass off.
Well, I did know that. I didn't know she could sell out a show instantly until this. I didn't know she could come back 4 months later, and I'm pretty sure that sold out again. Right?
I'm pretty sure it did.
So she now has this sort of aura around her as a top-notch artist. Almost the same thing I said about Summer Walker. But she's been here. She's kind of been
she's not new
around
to the industry.
And on top of that, she's been trying to find it for a couple years.
Okay.
You know, when she came out with There'll Be Sunshine back in 2014, 2015, she's just new artist, you know, getting into the scene, had the feature with Common, everything was all good. And then from there, from her next single after that to Feels, she was trying to find it. She was trying to find that, for lack of a better word, mainstream popularity, and just couldn't get it.
Okay.
Right? But this one, those Feels again, she put it together. It hit perfectly. I hear her songs at clubs now.
Oh, shit.
You know, I hear it on radios now.
Oh.
You know, there's a fan base for her. There's a public fan base for her. And I like seeing all this growth finally come into form.
Okay,
right? This is sort of the true definition of artist development.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, 2019 really was Snow Allegra's year, in my opinion.
Hey, shout out to her. You
So-
know what I actually found out, or not, what I actually thought of recently was now you don't need these chart-topping singles to sell
No.
to have good albums.
Not at all.
Like Freddie Gibbs, I've not heard one song from this album, but just from you said people talking about it, I've heard it's one of the best albums.
That's
of
the thing.
year.
It's the acclaim.
Yeah.
It's the conversation around it.
That's
It's-
good, man. That artists can now sell without selling out.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
That's a good point. I like the way.
Like,
you
I
put
don't think
that.
Snow Allegra sold out, and I don't think Freddie Gibbs has sold out, but they created some good body of work.
Definitely,
this
and
year.
it has a lot to do with your presence and how you carry yourself, and not
Mhm.
even necessarily about the music in a lot of ways, right?
Mhm.
But again, my overall artist of the year, my 2019 TNV Awards recipient for the MVP,
MVP.
I give it to Snow
MVP.
Allegra.
Shout out to Snow Allegra. That's just 2 A's in there?
There is.
All right. So Shola's overall MVP, overall artist of the year, TNV, True North Views Podcast, MVPs from Shola. I got so confusing. Anyway.
And ABC, LMNOP, CBDOE.
It's actually co-winners this year.
Okay.
I'm giving to Thug and Roddy Rich. Young Thug and Roddy Rich.
Young Thug and Roddy
Yes.
Rich. Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Tell me more.
These are two artists that I've liked, but I thought they were one-track minded artists.
Okay.
And this year they both dropped albums that made me realize, you know what? They're onto something. They're onto something. Thug's been around for a while,
Right.
so it's hard to everyone say, but his album was not like his mixtapes. And I think I
Yes.
told you the same thing. It felt more like he knew what he was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Roddy Rich, I've
Felt
heard
more intentional.
yes. And Roddy Rich, I've heard a lot of singles from him, but it just felt like he was always going to do the same thing. And even though his album almost did sound like the same thing, I didn't get tired of it. I'm not the one that told me. Someone else told me that too.
Right.
Like, I also didn't get tired of his album. So because of that, I give them the co-MVP this year.
Shit, that's
Yeah.
hey man. Listen, that's
It's my list, not
that's
yours, so
saying
fuck
something.
you.
That's saying something, man. I rate it. I rate it. So you're MVP, co-MVP.
Yes, co-MVP.
In that case, 2019 TNV Awards.
LMNOP.
You're gonna give that to Young Thug and Roddy Rich.
It was their year.
Moving on to our next award, we got award number 4 out of
Mhm.
15. Let's talk about the feature king or
Mm,
the feature queen,
jeez.
right?
Can't
Who
forget the
is
queens.
your best featuring artist of the year?
Honestly, I couldn't think of anyone,
Mm.
so I give it to one of my favorite artists, Young Thug.
Cheat code.
It is. It really is.
Cheat code. I'm not mad at that.
The London was actually the only song I could think of, and every other song I think of was on his album. But I still think Young Thug, just as a feature, is almost a song that nobody misses.
Right.
Like even on Pop List, Young Thug doesn't sell well, but people listen to his music. For his album, it didn't sell physical copies, but the streaming was up there and everything. Just because Young Thug just has that, not fan base, but everyone just wants to
He
listen to
does, though. He has that cult fan base. Like I said, when I went to the Cole show,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not,
They
a
were
lot of
there
people were
just for
there for
Thug.
Thug.
Yeah,
A lot
he
of
said
people were
that.
there for Thug, and they were cool with leaving afterwards.
He said that.
And I was at the front.
That's funny.
So imagine
3 bellies a ticket.
3 Billies to see Thug at ACC.
You're a fan. You're a
Holy
fan.
moly, you are a fan.
Yeah, like I said, Young Thug. Who doesn't look for a Young Thug feature? He always smashes it. Pause. In a different way. Pause.
In a different
every
way.
time.
Oh my god.
Pause. But yeah, Young Thug's my featuring artist of 2019.
Okay. For mine, I had to load up Spotify here to really get mine home, and my feature king / feature queen, my 2019 feature artist of the year is going to go to Meek Millie.
Meek Mill.
Meek Millie. Now I'm gonna give it to Meek Mill
Why?
because he went undefeated like Cole went undefeated last year.
But he didn't go 12 for 12.
He didn't go 12 for 12, but he did hit a lot of shots.
He did.
He went like 9 for 9.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I went back and I looked at exactly what he's featured on this year. And there's quite a few projects that he's on. He's on a project called Wild Boy by Cowboy. I don't know. Never heard that one. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna be honest with you. But he's also on a lot of the bigger projects of the year. So he's on Gucci Mane's Delusion of Grandeur.
He was, yes.
Right. He's on Mustard's Perfect 10.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. He's on what's this? It's on a Ray Shremmer track. Ray Shremmer track.
The 27 track album. Shrem 3. Shrem Life 3.
No, something for I don't know what that is, but I'm just looking at Spotify. He's on the Future song 100 Shooters.
Yeah, that song's hard.
Right. He's on The Lost Boy by YB and Cordae.
That song's hard too.
He's on Love Songs 4 by Lil Durk, and that song is hard.
Really, I've never heard that song.
Hard.
Okay.
He's on that St. John album.
Yep, I heard that.
Right. He has that song with Quality Control, Quavo and them.
Quality Control.
That one's called Double Trouble.
Quavo and them.
He's on Port of Miami 2.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
That's his boss.
He's on Young Jeezy's TM104.
Okay, I didn't listen to that album, but
he's on, I mentioned the St. John already. He's on the Post Malone album, Hollywood's Bleeding.
Yes, he is.
He's on Wale, Wow That's Crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
He's on, what's this? He has a track with 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz on Rapper Go to the League?
On Hype Up.
I've never
heard of Hype Up. I've never heard of that person. He's on Fabulous, Summertime Shootout.
Well, that one just dropped, right?
Yep, Summertime Shootout 3. He's on Roddy Ricch, of course.
Yeah, he is on Roddy Ricch. That song with Peter.
That song is
hard.
Hard.
Oh, God.
And he's on NLE Choppa's album as well.
Oh,
and that album did numbers. I think that album did 105 first week.
Yeah, it did number. I tried listening to it. I couldn't.
Did you see French Montana's numbers?
Really?
580 first week?
Man, they gotta be like fudging something.
Yo.
I didn't listen to French Montana's album.
Yo, I haven't heard a single person that has heard
now I feel like I should go listen to it.
No, I don't. I definitely don't. But yeah, like I said, he was on so many different projects this year, and he really did his thing both with the rapping and with the sing rapping.
He is doing that singing thing.
His elevation of sing rap is really has me favoring him in terms of just his evolution.
Yep,
and for that, he didn't miss on any feature. I have to have him as my feature artist of the year.
Fair enough.
2019 feature king, Meek Mill. Meek Millie. You already know what it is, yeah? I'll give a round of applause. Yeah. All right, let's get into award number 5.
Yes.
Rookie of the Year.
Yes. You want me to
now, Rookie of the Year, it's key to mention this. Rookie of the Year, defined by us, is an artist that you discovered this year.
Yeah, so you, a listener, could have discovered this artist 3 years ago.
Yes.
But if I'm just hearing this artist for the first time in 2019, it's a rookie to me.
Or if they were an indie artist and they had some EPs and mixtapes, 2015, 2016, 2017, but this is like their first breakout or like, you know what I mean? They can still very much be a new artist or Rookie of the Year. So give it to me.
All right, mine, and you've heard his name before. He's also my Rapper of the Year. It goes to the baby.
Jeez. Rapper of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Rapper of the Year?
Yes.
Damn. He dropped ROY to MVP?
Yeah.
ROY to MVP?
That's how big his year was, man. That's how big the baby's year was. He dropped 2 albums, Baby on Baby, Kirk. Baby on Baby came out of nowhere. Personally, for me, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything about the baby.
That's the thing.
I think it was you that even told me on this podcast, like, you need to listen to this the baby album.
I heard it from the Joe Budden podcast. Maul kept talking about it, like, yo, this guy, the baby, he's a real deal. He was a real deal. He was a real deal. Like, you got to listen to this guy. So I thought it would be like more like, you know, for lack of a better word, more gangster shit, right?
That's what I thought too.
And when I heard the album, I remember I was like, this is kind of like gangster shit, but in a boppy way. Like, I'm with this.
Like,
and then all of a sudden, he became the baby.
Yes.
That's
literally what happened.
Whoa.
Within like 2 weeks of me saying, wow, no one knows about this guy. It's like, you know, half his songs are on the radio now. I was like, well, shout out to the baby.
Yeah, he had a great year.
His first album featured Offset, Rich Homie Quan, and Rich the Kid. So it does show that he did have, you know, a little bit of a push there. But he carried the album. He carried his own first album, which a lot of us, that was our first time listening to him ever. And he carried it. You might, and here's one thing, he does sound the same, but he sounds original.
Yes.
And I rate him for that because there's no one else that sounds like the baby, and the baby doesn't sound like anyone else. He sounds like the baby, and yet it's the same. It's still fucking bops.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "You know what? I'm gonna flip on you guys and drop Kirk, switch it up a little."
That was surprising.
Kirk came out.
I did not expect the baby to drop 2 albums in his
1
rookie
year.
year.
That was crazy. That's like dropping like he won season MVP and finals MVP in 1 year.
But he killed it, man.
Yeah,
he killed
and
it.
Kirk again, another album that was solid. He switched up his flow. He did a little bit of singing thing. He got more personal too with the intro about his dad. So
yes,
you know what?
yes, for sure.
I just feel like the baby showed a lot of growth in 1 year, and even if he doesn't have the same success next year, this year 2019 he owned it, in my opinion.
Not mad at that.
Yeah.
Not mad at that at
2019 Shola from the TNV podcast Rookie of the Year goes to the baby.
Do you remember at one point when we thought Lil Baby was bigger than the baby?
At one point, Lil Baby was.
He was.
Like 2018,
of course.
Lil Baby was.
He was. My rookie of the year is going to go to Summer Walker.
Okay.
Same exact reasons why I pick her for R&B Artist of the Year. Just again, her ascent into mainstream Black Twitter.
She
It takes a lot. It takes a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like Ari Lennox is in there. Summer Walker's in there. Like
it takes a lot for them to accept you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say to accept, but that was your statement, not mine.
That's mine.
But anyways, man, like I said, a lot of the same reasons and a phenomenal album on top of that. I think despite all the criticism that she faced, she's still a top level talent. And for that reason, she is my rookie of the year, Summer Walker. Award number 6.
Yes, sir.
An award that nobody wants.
Nope.
Let's talk about the biggest L
Hold
this year in music. That was a good one.
I wish I had like a big letter L right now. Like
I
put it on
just
the
pictured
table.
the James Harden beard.
That's just funny.
Biggest L this year in music.
You start this because
Okay.
I also agree with yours and I want to piggyback off it as well.
Now, I'm going to say specifically Chance the Rapper's reputation.
I like that. Yeah, you're right.
Right?
I think it's
I don't necessarily think Chance the Rapper. I think he can possibly recover.
Yeah.
But I think his reputation is shot. I think he went from the heir apparent to Kanye, and then it kind of became Travis Scott, right? And then
it did. It did
very quickly.
Horrible.
And then he was supposed to be kind of the torchbearer, kind of after Drake as the good guy. And then here comes YBN Cordae. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like every sort of avenue or lane that he was supposed to be
the
top of, he's managed to take himself out of simply by having a very bad album.
I was going to say, I think his album just did not perform.
He had to cancel his shows.
A lot of his rep.
He's no longer taken as a serious Frank Ocean. And I don't compare the music. I compare the status. Right?
I get it.
When you hear Frank Ocean's name, it's like, yo, that guy made Channel Orange.
Yes.
Same way people are talking, yo, that guy made acid rap. You
no
know what I'm
one's
saying?
He made Big Dave.
Yeah.
No one's saying that.
Yo, this guy made Big Dave, fam.
That
Yo,
was
imagine if
trash.
that's someone's favorite album. God damn. So I kind of think that he's put himself in a scenario where he almost logicked himself.
Logic, yeah.
Where
That's
no matter
on my
what
list.
you do, you are now going to be criticized.
Yep.
No matter what you do, you are no longer going to be deemed the heir apparent, deemed the
Next.
A+ quality, deemed a necessary listen. You're now going to look at it as, that's the guy that dropped Big Ass Day.
We good.
I'm cool. Right? So I think his reputation, whether he recovers or not, his reputation has taken a hit that I've only seen Meek Mill recover from.
Oh, yeah,
I've only seen Meek Mill recover from this. I haven't seen anyone else.
No, I don't think anyone else can. It's gonna be hard. He has to drop like another acid.
You got to go to jail.
Yo, for real.
You know what I'm
Something big
saying?
we gotta like throw a
Fuck,
pity
man.
party for him.
But yeah, that's my biggest L this year in music, specifically Chance the Rapper's reputation. I would give an applause, but I don't think that seems fitting.
It really
So let's not
does.
do that.
It's not an award.
Your biggest L in music goes to?
One goes to Logic.
Okay.
I think he dropped 2 albums this year. Granted, one was a soundtrack
Soundtrack.
for a book. It was still kind of whack on
Yep.
its own.
Agreed.
And then whatever album he dropped, Confessions of a Dark Mind.
Teenage Mind or Dangerous Mind or something.
And that's putting off the top of my head. If I was right about that, that's good on him for naming it something I could remember. But that album was also just straight whack. Like, Logic used to be known for his bars.
Mhm.
And these albums just didn't have bars.
Yeah.
They just had whack beats and whack lines.
And Logic quickly became known as the person that repeats the same bars.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you know what he's gonna say. Lyrical, lyrical, miracle, spiritual.
I'm biracial.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what's coming out of Logic's mouth, and there's just like a lot of people have said there's no growth, there's no advancement.
Yes.
Like, we've seen someone like a Big Sean take time off.
Maybe Logic needs to do that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, I read on this article, can't remember, but he says a lot of these young rappers, at the end of the day, they don't have enough life experience to rap 4 albums worth at 26. Like, what have you really done at 26 that you can make 4 albums about? And that's honestly the truth. It's like, we've heard what was his first mistake? His first album?
Under Pressure.
That was his life up to like he was 21, for example.
Great album.
But like, it's like, then take time off, go live life a little, and come back 4 years later and drop another fire-ass album about your life after 4 years.
Right.
Not just dropping everything. It's just, there's nothing new. Like you said, no growth. And my second one goes to DJ Khaled just because of his response to Igor when Igor beat him.
Hater.
It's just kind of like, come on, man. Like, I want us to all be
That's a good
all support each other. Like, he's already just saying, "Hey, good job, Tyler. Come be on my next album." You know how funny that would have been? I'm like, yo, that's funny. DJ Khaled said Tyler should be on his next album.
Yeah.
Tyler probably would have been like, yo, yeah, let's do it.
And then at that point, it would help them both.
Exactly. But him sound like a hater just turned me so much off from DJ Khaled. And maybe it was for promotion and all, but it still just was not a good look.
That was a pretty big L.
2 big L's there to Logic, who actually starts with an L, and DJ Khaled.
Let's do it, man. So I'm going to give that category an applause because I think it deserves it. Yes. Now, if we talk about the biggest L this year in music, of course, we have to talk about the biggest W.
The biggest W
this year in music. And
I didn't put anything there because I'm agreeing with your list.
Yeah, I figured
you realized
that was the case. I'm gonna say the biggest W this year in music goes to 2 people equally: Meg Thee Stallion and DaBaby.
Who I actually consider both for my rookie of the year. I was like, I had 2 Coles again.
Yeah.
Like,
This guy's giving up Bear Coes. I guess that would be an honorable mention in that case.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
But, again, you think about just the instant popularity and instant popularity without criticism. Now, I can't say that fully about DaBaby or fully about Meg. But I say that from a public appeal perspective, almost like the way Lizzo is criticized. DaBaby and Meg Thee Stallion don't have that issue with public appeal.
They don't. They're loved.
And they're loved. And I always look at them as each other's counterpart. I look at Meg Thee Stallion as the female DaBaby. I look at DaBaby as the male Meg.
Yup.
And they just have this charisma and this energy where it's like, they've set themselves up where if they can both develop as artists, we could be talking about both of them for Artists of the Decade
10 years from
2020s.
Yeah.
Right? So I think they've set themselves up very well. Like you said, 2 Rookie of the Year award candidates. And definitely the biggest W this year in music for me.
I agree with you, man. DaBaby, like I said, I can't preach more about DaBaby. It sounds like I'm on his dick, pause. But when I was looking into this end of the year thing, DaBaby kept on coming up a lot. And I was like, the guy had a staple in 2019. And Meg Thee Stallion, Hot Girl Summer? Who do you think started that shit? I'm just saying, the girl ran the summer.
Yeah.
And she's hot, girl.
She's hot.
So... yeah.
So shout out to them, man.
Biggest dubs in music this year, DaBaby and Meg Thee Stallion.
Hold on, I thought we had 15 awards, but I don't know it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to go 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to go
10 years.
11, 12, 13, 14. Go figure. But we are discussing 15 things. So my number's still right. So let's get away.
I don't think anyone's even counting how many awards categories we go through.
The People Awards.
Yes, we're done with the People.
We're halfway through our list at this point. Let's get into our special awards.
Special. Which It's actually people.
Of course. And what the special awards are, you kind of got a taste for it at the end of our People Awards,
Yes.
right? The biggest L, the biggest W.
Mhm.
We want to kind of make these, we wanted to make it its own category, these different awards that kind of are non-traditional in a
Yes.
sense, right? So our
Non-traditional is a good
special
way.
awards, we have 3 of them
Mhm.
to discuss. And let's talk about starting with the comeback of the year.
Yes.
I'll start with this one.
Yeah, I thought you started with this.
So 2019, my TNV Award winner for the comeback of the year or comeback artist of the year, I'm going to go with Young M.A.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to go with Young M.A. is because, again, I think so much about perception, because so much about your earning potential has to do with
How you look.
Yes. Especially in today's music and even amongst social media and just everything. Selling tickets is almost more personality based than music based nowadays. And the court of public opinion on Young M.A. was that she was a one-hit wonder. She was someone who could rap her ass off but can't put it together or can't make a song.
Yeah, can't put a track.
She was the person
album.
that can't put an album together. And after she came out with her album, a lot of that changed.
Her story in the making.
And, she was still doing a lot of business savvy things before that. I think the Pornhub thing was before.
She was never signed. She chose not to sign after her blow up, because most people after they get that blow up song, they sign.
Yeah, I think she said that on the Breakfast Club. I think.
Did she? I never watched that interview,
like
but she didn't sign, which shows another savviness.
But yeah, no, like I was saying, she's been relevant.
Yep.
It's not like she hasn't been relevant, and I don't mean that when I say comeback of the year. But again, I say it from a musical perspective, a musical court of public opinion perspective, and she's now viewed as someone who can make a quality project and who has made a quality project. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, I couldn't really think of any other name for this.
Hey, fair enough.
In a lot of ways.
That's a comeback then. No one else actually made a big comeback.
So yeah, comeback artist of the year, Young M.A. Who's your comeback artist of the year?
I actually was going to give it to Young M.A. as well, but then last minute, I changed my mind and I gave it to Kevin Gates.
Okay.
I'm a huge Kevin Gates fan. I've been a Kevin Gates fan for a while. He went to jail. We all know. He came out. I think he dropped one thing with NBA YoungBoy. Might have been last year.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a little, I think, 4-track project. It didn't really slap. And then this came out this year, and I got the Gates I wanted. The intro perspective. Intro perspective.
Is that what, episode 48? What episode was that one? Intro perspective.
I remember.
Holy shit, introspective?
Yeah, that one. It was personal. It was deep. He gave me his singing, song, rap, flow thing that he does, and it was a good body of work.
Absolutely.
And for someone that, again, went to jail for almost a year, it's easy to fall off. He's still not an A-list celebrity, but for him to come back and still put in good work, I think it did 90-something the first week it came out?
Yeah. It did numbers. I think it did 95.
Yeah.
I think it did 95,000.
It showed something. Someone is doing something pretty good. Again, I'm not sure if there was any singles off this either. I don't know. I don't know much about promotion about this.
Yo, remember when I told you I talked to one of my younger brother's friends, and I think he's 20 years old, and I was talking about, again, Young Boy versus Kevin Gates. He's like, bro, the last track I heard from Kevin Gates was Two Phones. I'm like, yo, fam.
Yes, that was his last biggest track.
Nuts. That was
like in 2015.
That's a wild bar to say to someone, because Kevin Gates is nice.
He is. He's so slept on, man, especially with the young people. But Young Boy has them, and NLE Chopper has them now.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so my comeback of the year goes to Kevin Gates. Yo, bro.
And of course, with the comeback of the year, we will talk about the Falloff of the year. Now, this is going to be very similar to our biggest L in music, but it's not quite the same because, like I said, it could be an individual or a reputation or whatever.
It's whatever we want.
So let's talk about who is your Falloff artist of the year.
I gave it to Lil Pump.
I agree with that one. And after I saw you put that, I was like, okay.
He dropped Harvard mixtape, his first album called Harvard Dropout.
Mm-hmm.
It came out this year, in February. He had names of Smoke Perp, Offset, Quavo, Lil Uzi, Lil Wayne, YG, and 2 Chainz on it.
400.
And I can guarantee you, no one here remembers one song off that album.
No one here remembers Lil Pump releasing an album.
Exactly. You know, this was like a last minute thing of just me remembering someone say
Like even
Lil
Smoke
Pump.
Perp made noise.
He did. Like,
Lil Pump made no noise.
and I'm calling it the fall of the year because I think this is the beginning of the fall of his career.
Yeah.
He was.
I thought that at the beginning of this year.
Well, the thing about Lil Pump was he was never like people didn't like him for his music. People just like him because he was a young kid doing these crazy
course.
antics.
Of course.
And I was like, yo,
But it
come on.
got old super
Exactly.
quick. That's the
It got
thing. So even
old.
when you see him make these videos,
It's just kind of like, bro,
it's
grow
just
up.
like, okay.
Like, you're not funny anymore. Like, you're not this 16-year-old little cute kid anymore. Now you're an adult. Like,
Mm-hmm.
behave.
Interesting. You thought he was cute?
No, not what I said. Get out of here, this man.
Oh man.
Yo. Anyway, my Falloff artist of the year goes to Lil Pump.
And again, we're not going to applaud that one. My
Who's your
fall off
Falloff
artist
artist?
of the year, doubling down on my biggest L in music. I'm giving it to Chance the Rapper.
No fight for me.
Again, he had it, and now
I used to fight for this guy. Now I'm just like, nah, he's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like he had it, and now does
lost
he even
it.
belong in the league anymore?
Yo, that's a good
You know what I'm
one.
saying?
Man went from starting 5 on contender to
It's almost like,
he in the league
and I'm not
anymore?
even comparing the player because he's still nice. He's just dealing with injuries. Think about from a money perspective, Isaiah Thomas,
You know what I was even thinking of?
DeMarcus Cousins.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, just on the
Too many
injury,
injuries, though. Too
on
many
the injury
injuries.
part, like just
too
hindering
many
his
injuries.
career.
Like it was just it. Like he was
Oh,
on his way to the
That's
bag.
true. He
Got
was
injured at the
The wrong
wrong
moment.
time.
and just never got this.
Blackballed in terms of like ever.
Yeah,
being
actually, I
viewed
get the
as-
IT one better.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I think Chance represent that for himself.
Yeah.
So
He's
let's
a-
see what's in store for him.
He has to go to jail.
in this next decade. He's young. He's 26, something like
yeah,
that.
he's mad. Yeah.
So by the end of this decade, he'll be 35, 36, 37.
Let's see what he can do.
That's that age where you're that's like
You gotta
almost the
set it
Cole
up.
Drake Kendrick age, almost.
Because
right?
that's when you have to like transition to like more adult shit.
Mhm.
How you gonna do that?
Absolutely. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Now we do want to talk about our artists
Yes,
to watch out for in 2020.
yes.
It's important to talk about the artists that we mentioned in
If
2019.
you didn't watch last year's episode or didn't listen to last year's
Go
episode,
back to
Go
86 minus 53. What was it, a leap year?
It was not a leap year.
Man, just look for the winner is what's it called? Y'all
the
won.
winner. Y'all won part 1 and y'all won part 2.
Y'all won part 1, y'all won part 2. So let's talk about the names that we mentioned in 2019.
Yeah, I'll give you credit. You were really good on your list.
I fucking
Like,
slapped this list. bro.
I read it. That's actually why I left it. Because I
I
was like,
know. You know
I was
what's
like,
funny?
damn, like we gotta talk about how good this guy's list was.
As I was looking at the notes to enter my notes, I
Yeah.
saw that you had the categories there. And at first I erased this, right? And as I was erasing it,
You
I saw quick convo on last year's, and I'm like, yo, hold on. I had bare names. still.
you did.
Let me undo.
Give my credits back.
Let me get my credits back. So I had mentioned Reason.
Yes.
Now Reason had his challenge this year,
Mm.
which a lot of people are freestyling on. So even
Okay.
though he didn't really take
Blow
off the
up.
way although I think 2020, I was gonna put his name on 2020, but I'm like, I can't do that again.
Mhm.
But that is an honorable mention for 2020. Reason did this thing in 2019,
I heard his name. I heard his name out
right?
there.
YBN Corday,
Grammy nominated.
Grammy nom. Tierra Whack, not as noisy as I thought she'd be.
But she did make the freshman list, which means someone's listening.
Touche. Saba,
He's
he
out
did
there.
this thing with Pivot Gang.
He's out there, man.
for sure, and he's just out there in general. And Rico Nasty, that album with Kenny Beats is on every motherfucking
Album of the year.
hipster fucking top 5.
Yes, you're right.
Top 5. I seen DJ Boots top 75,
It was up there.
and bro, Kenny Beats is like 11.
Yeah, the Kenny Beats was on the one we looked at. Remember that Pitchfork?
Freedom? Yeah.
The Pitchfork one. Yeah, the Kenny Beats Tierra Rock was on there. It was like top 20. It was top 25
Oh
or
my
something.
God. Wow.
I remember seeing me thinking I didn't like it that well.
But I was like, yo, I'm like, I did a good job.
yeah, I got Young Nudie, but he didn't do much. He dropped
Nudie was on, but
he dropped
Nudie
a
made the
mixtape with
Dreamville. Nudie made the
Warren.
Dreamville project.
He did.
So that's
good.
not, and he was the only one that had his own feature.
Oh, you're right.
So
we talked about that.
Listen, that's
Need
something. That's something. I think we both hit. So again, the artists that we watched out for last year, I think they all kind of came into fruition. I mentioned
they
Reason, YBN Corday, Tierra Wax, Saba, and Rico Nasty. You added Young Nudie on top of
Yes.
that. I think we did a good fucking job.
I think we did good.
I think we did a good job. So let's get into.
So people, listen for next year. Just saying.
Yeah, listen to us for fucking next year.
I'm
Shit,
just
man.
saying.
And I think we're ready to be right again
Yes.
in asking who are some artists to watch out for in 2020. I'll start.
Yes.
I'll start with this one. So I have 2 artists in mind.
Okay.
I saw the artist that you put. I was gonna mention him. I felt it was too much of a layup.
I was going to ask you that right now. Like, is that a layup? Like,
I'm saying. I mean, let's just mention yours then, because I kind of revealed it.
So I put Roddy Rich.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, since he just dropped his album really late and everyone is guessing it is good. Like,
I think it's still a fair pick.
But it's like it's one of those like it's a layup.
Like, oh, it's close. It's like
You know what? Let me think about. Actually, I can't think of any names right now.
It was hard. It was hard for me to think of names. But I'll get into mine though.
Okay, go into yours.
I have 2 artists that I can think of. Artist number 1, Rod Wave.
Yes. I agree with you on that.
You listened to that?
Well, you were playing outside one day when we were back home smoking legal,
God,
and I even asked him like, "Who is this?"
When we were
back home smoking legal,
meditating. We had a group meditation session. It was fantastic. That shit is good, man. That Rod Wave thing, and that's the sound today. That's the Roddy Rich sound. That's the
Kevin Gates.
The Kevin Gates sound. That's the that's the sound that people want to hear today.
That half singing, half
the
rapping with a melody in it.
Exactly.
Kind of like your on flow.
Thug to certain degrees as well. In a southern way. And I think Rod Wave is one of those artists that people don't really know yet, but they will know very soon.
Fair enough. I think so too. Actually, I saw him on Rap Caviar, so that's a big hit for him.
That's a huge hit. That's a huge hit. And the second artist that I had to watch out for in 2020, D Smoke.
You know, I would have said who, but I watched Rhythm and Flow, and I don't know if he won it, but I know he went far in it because I'm not finished.
I think he won it.
Okay, fair enough then. We spoiled it. I'm joking. I don't care. I don't care, bro. I don't care.
Yeah, I realized as I said it, and like I haven't. I'm like, oh shit, oops, that came out of my mouth.
He was probably favorite too. Like watching that show, there's like like the 3 people that are going to the finals.
Yeah, and I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast, and they were saying that it almost looks like that show was designed for him to win because D Smoke is in the industry. Don't get it twisted. That is Sir's brother. He didn't
look out of place on that show. Like he looked like I've been here, I've done this. Like I know how to.
Brother,
it makes sense. He's around industry niggas all day.
You know what I'm saying? And he's in the industry already. I think like as a producer or writer or something along those lines. And I just think that it almost in a way where the show was designed as kind of his media push or his, you know how we say there's plants in the industry often?
Yeah.
You could argue that D-Smoke might be a plant. And sometimes there's successful plants. Like The Baby might be a plant, right? Lizzo is a plant. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain plants. And I think that D-Smoke could be one of them. And I think at the very least, he's going to get that opportunity in 2020.
Yeah, fair enough, man. I heard him on that show. That's the only time I've heard him. But like I said, he didn't look like, this is my first time rapping. This is not my second time rapping. This is not my third time rapping. And this would definitely not be my last time rapping. He just looked miles above. You know when someone's playing basketball, he just looked better? Yeah. That's how he looked. Like, not saying everyone else was shit, but he just looked like, like, I know what I'm doing more than you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, so shout out to Rod Wave, D Smoke, and Roddy Rich, who are artists to watch for 2020. I was going to ask who's your artist to watch for the decade. I'm like, how do you know that?
For the decade. Oh, man. All right, so that's actually going to wrap up our special awards.
Yes.
So let's go then right into the album awards, of course, and we will use this to end off the show. Now, of course, we have our top lists in here. We have our top albums of the year.
Yes.
We also wanted to make sure we included our top rap albums specifically because, the main gist of our show is hip-hop culture.
Yes.
But before that, we were going to talk about collabs, but there ain't no more.
There wasn't really no much collabs this year. That was a last year repeat.
Exactly. Let's talk about the surprise album of the year as well as the underwhelming album of the year.
Let's go.
So let's start with surprise album of the year for you.
Okay, you want me just one? How are we?
Oh, shit, you're only supposed to have one. And
Oh, we're supposed to have one. Oh, okay. I'll do that then. I can do that.
Okay, I'll mention mine in the meantime.
I already know what mine is. No, I already know what mine is.
Oh, okay.
It was in order of how I would mention it.
Fair. Okay.
So my surprise album of the year was YNW Melly's Melly versus Melvin. I did not expect that to be that good. Or to enjoy it as much as I did.
Same.
Like, it was just his voice, and I've kept on saying, his voice is just untouchable. He's hitting notes that Thug doesn't even hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's hitting notes that if he was to go to singing school, I think he would be a good singer.
Elite.
Like, yes, like Chris Brown, almost Chris Brown level singing. Not even joking. Like, he's not on Tory Lane's auto-tune. This is his voice. It has a raspiness to it, but it's...
And his younger brother can sing
good.
like a
I'm not
too.
Really. I need to listen to his younger brother.
Shit.
I refuse to listen to him because I thought it was just a copycat. But
well, I mean, it's his bro.
my surprise album of the year goes to Y&M Melly's Melly versus Melvin.
And then you want to mention also your honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions go to Lil Keed, Long Live Mexico. I bumped that album. If you like Young Thug, I feel like you will like this as well. And also DJ Mustard's Perfect 10. It was 10 songs of summer bangers. Like, sure, right now I'm not bumping those songs, but in the summer, next summer, those songs are going back on my playlist because they were straight heat. Fire, heat. And Roddy Ricch was on one of them, so.
True. All right, so salute to YNW Melly.
Yes.
And salute to your honorable mentions. My surprise album of the year, I'm going to give it to... Actually, before that, let me mention a few honorable mentions.
Okay.
Jacquees, King of R&B.
Okay.
I had that on my list because it was a really fucking quality album for somebody that was almost taken as a joke.
Slept on.
Very quality album. I had YBN Cordae on there, The Lost Boy.
Did not expect to be as good as it was.
Yeah, I knew it would be good because I was intrigued by Cordae very much so, and then obviously we all know that at this point. But I didn't expect them to put it together that neatly and get Grammy nominated. So definitely on my list. Boogie, Everything's for Sale as well, because I had no clue who he was. And after I heard his album, I then realized he was on so many features of so many artists that I already listened to, the JIDs of the world, the Maribas of the world, the fucking Buddies of the world, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't until we went to his show and he played that one song that I was like, oh, I've heard this song before. And then I remember seeing his name and mixing it with A Boogie with a hoodie at one point.
Exactly. Same exact thing for me. But my winner for surprise album of the year is going to go to The Baby. Baby on Baby. We've talked about it at this point, so I won't reiterate.
Right.
But yeah, man, he's surprised. This name came out of nowhere. So salute to Baby.
You learn from who to I gotta be at this show.
Salute to The Baby. And again, salute to the honorable mentions. Yes. All right. So with the surprise, of course, comes the underwhelming album of the year. I will start because I sound like a broken record at this point.
Yours is the same as mine.
Clean sweep of all of my underwhelming awards.
All the sad categories
goes to none other than Chance the Rapper, The Big Day.
Big Ass Day.
I don't need to. I kept calling it Big Ass Day. I have no idea what this album was called. I actually don't have it down. I never downloaded it, and I always download new music, and I never downloaded this.
Yeah, save yourself.
So that says a lot. Yeah, that's my winner. I didn't even have any honorable mentions.
Okay, so
that was the only album that came to mind.
So you sound like such a hater.
I'm not even hating.
I know you just sound. I know because I agree with you on that album. That one was really disappointing. My underwhelming album of the year also went to Chance Big Ass Day, but I have a few honorable mentions. I'm just gonna run the list of no explanation. Just underwhelming says enough about it.
Yep.
Bad Habits by Nav, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind by Logic, ! By Trippie Redd, Whatever Vic Mensa came out with this year, and Jesus King by Kanye West.
Yeah, I like that. Nice and concise.
Straight to that's it. Underwhelming.
I like that.
I don't need to say anymore.
So we got 2 more categories to go.
Oof, the big ones.
We got the big categories, man. We got our top albums. But before we do our top albums, let's talk specifically about rap. Again, this is a hip hop culture podcast, so I want to get into the top 5 rap albums of the year. Now, for this, let's do our honorable mentions, and then we'll do 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
Gotcha.
Right? So I'll start with my honorable mentions. I have Benny the Butcher on there with The Plugs I Met.
Okay.
I have Wale, Wow That's Crazy. I have Jim Jones, El Capo. I have The Baby, Baby on Baby. I have Rhapsody, Eve. Remember I said number 9? And I have Game, Born to Rap. Who do you have honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. I have NF, The Search.
Oh yeah, that's your guy.
She's
That beat Chance or whatever.
Yeah. Denzel Curry, Zoo.
Hard.
Roddy Rich, which I'm sorry I didn't give rap album of the year. I didn't give him top 5, but my top 5 was just way better. Roddy Rich, sorry for my antisocialness.
Yeah, sorry for being antisocial.
Yeah, so I don't have it open right in front of me. Lil Tekka's We Love You Tekka, and Young M.A.'s Her Story in the Making. And of course Kevin Gates.
Yeah, of course.
I'm him.
All right, so let's get into it then. Top 5 rap albums of the year 2019 TNV Awards.
Yes.
Starting with number 5, please.
So Much Fun by Young Thug. You guys knew this was coming. This is one of my favorite albums of the year. I know half this album like the back of my hand at this point. Thug just did Thug, man. He killed it. He had features on it, and he bodied all his features. Okay, not body, but Thug is someone that doesn't make his features outshine him, and this album showed it. He didn't go with his weird yelling high-pitched voice thing, because again, this is an album, it's not a mixtape. And he just put out good quality of work that we've not seen Thug do since probably Barter 6. So much fun. Yeah, that's my number 5 rap album of the year.
Okay. My number 5 is going to go to Sue Surf, 725.
Surf.
This is a motherfucking quality album.
Tell me about it.
This is really good rapping. He's not relying on features, although he has a good number of features. So he has Beanie Siegel on here.
Oh, shit.
Of course, with the Philly connection. He's from Philly. Casio, I don't know who that is. We have a couple of songs with Mozzie. 2 songs with Mozzie. I'll give you that. We have 2 songs with Mozzie. We have 1 song with Benny the Butcher, and we have 1 song with Tokyo Jets and Lucci Fontaine. But the thing about this album and the thing about Sue Surf is that, man, he could tell a motherfucking story. And
That's
again,
good,
like
man.
I don't know if you remember when the album came out, I said you could make a lazy comparison to Meek Mill, DC2 type flow.
You did say that, I think.
And that type of flow is set up for storytelling.
Hey, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think Surf executes on that well. So I thoroughly enjoyed this album. This was one of those albums that came out early in the year. It came out January 29th.
Oh, shit.
And
I forgot about it.
it was one of those albums that you just don't want to lose sight of. So I think it's very important to mention this as number 5 on my list.
Sure.
Right? So shout out to our number 5s. And let's get into number 4.
My number 4 goes to Boogie for Everything's for Sale. I think you talked about this already, right?
I didn't yet.
Oh, I thought you did earlier, but anyway,
Not
here's
really.
going.
Not in its entirety. No, I didn't.
Everything for Sale was just you put me onto this album, and it was just good. Like I don't know how to. He had lyrics. His beat and production went really well with his flow and his lyrics. Because he's not just a regular type of rapper that can go on any beats. I don't think so. But his beats and his producer worked well to make sure his beats worked for him. Make sure his flow worked on the beats. And his whole album from beginning to end was a well concise story. Like, he had interludes in there, and honestly, it was just something we hadn't seen in a while, especially after 2018, where we had so many albums. A lot of it just felt like plug and play. Just put songs here, especially with Kanye, man. You know Kanye, we don't be finishing music to the day before it releases. But this just felt like this guy put thought into every track. And then his track list, he put thought into this track needs to go before this track. And
definitely.
He wasn't carried by features. The album could have had no features on it, and I would have still been fine listening to it. So because of that, I'm giving Everything to For Sale my number 4 spot on top rap albums of the year.
Okay. Dope.
What's your number 4?
Number 4 is YBN Cordae.
Okay, The Lost Boy.
Lost Boy. Again, for everything that I mentioned in terms of the other category that I had him for, I forgot already. But The Lost Boy, again, it was a good body of work. And again, you knew already he was the best member of that of that
I
YBN
don't
gang.
know why he's in that gang.
But you had no clue that he could make an album. And I knew he was nice, but I didn't know he was School of Cole.
He was that nice.
Right? And when you see those Cole-like elements coming into an album, you have to do nothing but salute it.
For sure.
And when it gets the accolades and it gets the nominations, regardless of how you feel about Grammys,
You gotta respect it.
you got to respect it. And when you're with Naomi Osaka, fam, come on.
You gotta respect it.
You got to respect it. You know what I'm saying? But no, this was a real good rap project, man. And I have this on my list for the album making ability. So I thought he executed very well. YBN Corday, The Lost Boy. Shout out to our number 4s.
Shout out to number 4s.
Let's get into number 3. I'll go first on this one. My number 3, I had Revenge of the Dreamers 3 by Dreamville.
Okay.
Okay. I just played that album so much, man. And it's not even necessarily to say it's the best album, but it is the best playlist to me. And that's kind of the way I looked at it. I looked at it like a playlist. I played it endlessly. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I liked all the artistry that was on it. I liked all the rippity rap that was on it.
Rippity rap.
I liked that everyone sounded the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like all the criticism that it has. I loved it. I loved every single part of it. And for me, I just have to have it on there in my top 5, and I have it as number 3.
Hey, fair enough.
What about you?
I am going to give my number 3 spot to the Baby's Baby on Baby.
Okay.
I'm not going to harp on this again.
Yeah,
a lot of
you've
this
said it
is going
already.
to be a few harping. Just the baby dropped one of the best, I think, rookie albums we will not ever hear, but
That's wild.
we've heard in a while.
Okay. Maybe.
I don't know. I think it was someone else that dropped it.
Recency bias, Batman.
That's what I said.
But
Recently. Okay, so let me rephrase that. He dropped one of the best rookie albums of 2019.
Yeah.
The only other person I put up there for his rookie album is
Someone.
on my list. Oh, I don't know, put Corday. He's later on my list. So again, not to harp on everything we said before. It's a good album, solid album. Shout out to the Baby.
And if you can double down, give me your number 2, please.
My number 2 is exactly who you just talked about. So I'm not going to say anything about it because you've said more than needs to be said on that. YBN Corday, The Lost Boy. Again, amazing rookie album. Didn't see it coming. We knew he could do it, but we wanted to see him do it. And now he showed us he can actually do it. So shout out to YBN Corday for that.
Number 2 on my list is going to be Freddie Gibbs, Bandana. Again, I talked about it in my Rapper of the Year discussions already. I just think it was a phenomenal album. I think it was put together very well.
It was.
And it was just thoroughly enjoyable to listen to. And it was a high quality. It was thoroughly enjoyable as an album, the same way The Lost Boy was, the same way Sue Surf's was in those respects. But the song making ability is slightly higher than Surf's.
Okay.
And the album feel is just as good with better rapping than the Corday.
Okay,
if I were
feel
to compare, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, I have it very high on my list, and I have it as number 2. So,
hey, fair enough.
Shout out to both of them, YBN Corday and Freddie Gibbs. And let's get into number 1
I already said my honorable mention.
top rap album of the year.
And the winners, Cole.
Go ahead.
Well, I want you to get your honorable mentions off because I don't have any honorable mentions for my top 10.
We already did honorable mention.
For top 10. Oh, we're talking about number 1.
Number 1.
Oh, sorry, I was already on to the next category. I'm like miles away.
This guy's gone.
Number 1 goes to Psychodrama Dave by Dave. If you didn't see this coming, you've not been listening to this podcast long enough to know.
Yeah.
I've been bumming this every week for the last 6 months.
DJ Booth has this high, bro. It's number 3, bro.
It's good, man. Like Dave he's not the best lyricist, but he can tell you a damn story that will make you feel like you're sitting in a living room watching that shit on the TV in real life. Like not even watching it on a TV from a movie. It makes you like you're watching someone's life.
I might have to give that album a
He
listen.
is so like he does have an English accent, so I will let you know that.
That's cool.
But because some people that just like I don't like the English accent, it's hard to understand.
A lot of US people.
But the album was, I can't remember. I think there's only one song I would throw away from that album. And I've asked this question to you before. There's one throwaway song of me, the album's crap. You said no.
No,
And I
not at
also agree
all.
with that because that one song did feel out of place. But other than that, the album was amazing. It just, he had Burna Boy on it, J House, a few names on it, don't get me wrong. But nobody outshone him.
Yeah.
He carried that album.
Okay.
And the album was real. It wasn't all about clubs and girls, and he actually had no topics about that. Now I think about it, his song was literally just life. He talked about his brother going to jail because his brother's in jail for murder.
Yeah.
Talk about his brother going to jail. Talk about how it made him feel. The whole thing is supposedly like from a therapist's couch. So it starts off with, "Hey
Right.
Dave,
Okay.
you're on the therapist.
I like
I'm
that.
the therapist. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk." And then it goes into the first intro. The intro has the
I like the theme behind that.
like the type of Meek Mill intro type thing. So it picks up at a certain point.
Right.
He has a song talking about what it is to be a rapper. He's like, you guys see this, we see this. You guys see us with all these girls, we see ourselves as lonely ass people, so we keep these girls around us to keep. You know, he gives us some real life ish in this. You know, he talks about being black. He talks about the advantages and disadvantages of being black on one of his songs. So you know, I think everyone should listen to Psychodrama Dave, and that is why I gave it my rap album of the year.
Jeez.
Yes.
Jeez.
Psychodrama by Dave.
Okay. My rap album of the year is gonna go to Boogie. I'm giving that to Boogie.
Silent Ride Home.
Everything's for sale, man. I know you kind of touched on it, but this album for me, like I said, you know, or like you had mentioned, I had shown you this album. This album to me, this was the perfect album.
It really
This was the perfect album. In fact, the part that I hated the most was the Eminem feature.
Yeah, Eminem kind of ruined it.
You can just cut that part out of the album, and this would be an instant classic.
Surprisingly low, because of Eminem, a lot of people heard of him.
You
That
know
was
what I'm
actually
saying?
the bad because that was a single.
But you know, I love every part of this album. You know, the first track is one of those 2-track type of tracks. It goes from Tired to Reflections. Then it goes Silent Ride. Like there's no skips on this album whatsoever. You have your energizing songs like Soho, featuring JID.
Soho.
You know, you have these kind of songs for the ladies, Skydive 2,
Yeah,
featuring
Skydive
Black.
2 is dope.
You know, everything on this album is really good. It's short, it's concise.
Yes.
You know, like you mentioned, it's 13 songs, it's 38 minutes. So a pretty digestible listen in one sitting, just over a half hour.
Doesn't feel like anything was
And
wasted.
It tells a story. It literally tells a story. There's this dude, he's tired of always just making the wrong
Basic shit.
decisions and doing dumb shit. And at one point he says to his girl, like, why don't you just leave me? I'm so bad for you. And he reflects on his life a lot, and he's like, fuck, I'm tired of this LA shit, man. I gotta like go to Soho for the image. You know, I'm meeting at Soho. You know what I'm saying? It's like an LA love story. This album, it really is like a LA love story.
Okay.
A young LA love story. And I think it was executed perfectly. I think it was executed extremely perfectly. No skips, like I said. This is one of those albums that you can play from top to bottom at any time.
And I wouldn't be missing
And
on anything.
you would enjoy it every single time.
Okay.
So, again, it came out really early. It came out January 25th. I've said it every single month since then that this is a top album. This deserves to
you
be
have said that.
on top album lists. I cannot find an album that I enjoyed more than Boogie's album in terms of hip hop, in terms of rap. So Boogie, Everything's for Sale, that's going to go down as my number one rap album of the year for 2019. It's the TNV Awards. You already know what it is. You know what it is.
YG 400.
Now, that was our second last category.
Yes, it was.
I like this nice, concise,
Straight to the point.
concise award show. It's not a two-parter.
Nope, no need for those.
I like what we're doing here. So we thought we would cap it off by talking about our top 10 albums
Yes.
of the year. Now, of course, we say albums of the year to open it up beyond rap. You know, I've talked about R&B a lot this year. So
You
does
have.
R&B make my list? We'll see.
Does it?
You know, you bump like a Burna Boy.
Oh,
Does
I
that
do?
make your
A
list?
Afrobeat?
We'll see. So we wanted to just open up the floodgates to all genres, all categories of music, and Si Wagwan. Now, you don't have any honorable mentions.
I have no honorable mentions.
Oh, okay. Damn, okay. Shit.
I have no honorable mentions. Most of
You
my
just
honorable
had
mentions.
10. You just had a concise 10.
Most of my honorable mentions were already my rap, and I could just keep on going longer and
Fair
longer
enough.
in my rap category by side. Even my honorable mentions, I wanted to be honorable enough to actually make
Very fair.
not just any album that I just kind of liked.
Like we said, the intention of honorable mentions. Very hard to leave off of your list.
Exactly.
And none of the other albums were very hard to keep off your list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll talk about my honorable mentions
Let's
then,
talk about
in
it.
that case, because there were several projects that I had problems keeping out of my top 10. Actually, some of them I had in my top 10, and so I took them out.
Yep.
So that's how honorable
This
they
year
are.
he didn't go 65 top 10.
I didn't. I decided to stick to the rules this time. One of my honorable mentions is Anderson .Paak's Ventura.
Okay.
I had that really high in the early half of the year. I think I had that as number 3 or number 4 in the first half of the year.
Between July and December.
It didn't hit the same like a top 3, top 4 project.
Okay. Would you say it didn't age
It started
properly?
to hit. No, it still aged very well.
I'm just asking. I'm asking.
It started to hit like a 8 to 15, not a 3 to 4. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I said, you know what? I think I can squeeze it out.
Yeah.
So that's an honorable mention of mine. Gold Link Diaspora. I thoroughly enjoyed that album. Summer Walker's Over It. Like I said, a lot of people call it a classic. I'm not mad at them for that. The Baby on Baby. Very much the same rookie conversation like is going on with Summer Walker. And I think both of them deserve to be in the discussion. They're definitely in my top 20
Fair.
or top 25.
Fair.
But they're not in my top 10. Sir, Chasing Summer. Boy, oh boy, I really want to have this on there. I want this needs to be a 10B.
You really like this album. I remember you talking
this
about
album
it a lot.
was really fucking good.
Damn.
Really fucking
I gotta
good.
listen to Sir more.
I don't even know how I have it outside. Like when I think about it, I don't know how I have it
Hey,
outside.
that top 10 is heavy then. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, man. And a new album. Free Nationals. Self-titled album. Free Nationals. Free Nationals, actually, their project came out 2 or 3 weeks ago. We didn't end up talking about it. I wanted to talk about it this week, but of course, we have our year-end show. They are, if you don't know Free Nationals, they're Anderson .Paak's live band.
Oh, I thought it was the Diplomats. Sorry. I was mixing up Free Nationals with Diplomats. Now it makes sense. Okay.
I actually don't know if you're being serious or not. That's the funniest part.
No, because at first I was thinking it was the Diplomats, and then it was like about maybe a few seconds ago, I was like, oh, wait, no, that's I was thinking of like that whole group. I was like, no, that's called
funny,
Diplomat.
man.
They're
Holy
not called.
shit. You got the most
thing.
unique opinion. So again, Free Nationals, Anderson .Paak's live band. Remember we went to the Jay-Z show?
Yes.
That was
Jay-Z.
Free Nationals.
No, it was J. Cole.
J. Cole.
It was J. Cole. He opened for J. Cole.
What did he?
He opened for J. Cole.
Okay.
I know, because that was lit
Yeah.
as hell.
Yeah.
I did not realize he was on stage.
That was the Free
until he
Nationals.
was done.
So they definitely, you know what you're getting when you hear Free Nationals. It's that Anderson .Paak sound.
Yeah.
Just minus Anderson .Paak singing. Right?
Is he on the drums?
So maybe. For all I know, maybe. But no, they released a really fucking good project 2-3 weeks ago. Everyone needs to listen to that.
Is it just instrumentals?
There's several different artists on there.
Okay.
So you have
Is Anderson .Paak on one of them?
Anderson .Paak is on one of them.
I'll be like, yo, it's
And
disrespectful if he doesn't go on at least one track.
That's what I
Hype
thought
them
too.
up.
But he had the first song is with Shafiq Hussein. I don't know who that is. Second song, Daniel Caesar.
Ooh.
That's a playlist
Shout out
song.
to Oshawa.
That one's called Beauty and Essex. You know what I'm saying? Funky, you can hear the instrumentation in the background. It's funky. That's a good project. That's a good project. This is not the new music segment, so I'm not gonna.
We're not gonna go another
too much time on that. But yeah, Free Nationals was my final honorable mention. You don't have any honorable mentions.
I don't.
So I guess it's time to get into this list. So let's go with number 10, top 10 album of the year. Number 10, who do you have?
I'm giving this. It was I guess one of these should have been my honorable mention, but I couldn't decide. So I'm going to give it to one, and I'm not going to say who the other person was. I'm giving it to Tory Lane's Chicks tape. Simply for the nostalgia factor it brought back. I'm just listening to it and just being like, I remember bumping that song when I probably somewhere I shouldn't have been at this time.
Jeez.
Again, Tory Lanez did his thing on these. he bodied his features, or he bodied his tracks. Is strong, but he bodied the whole album. He sang really well, and he used the features really well. He didn't just put in a song and call it a sample. He's like, no, I'm gonna sample you, and then I'm gonna remix you.
And we talk about timing often, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that worked really well for Tory was the timing in terms of 2000s getting back in style.
Mm-hmm.
People are wearing Champion again.
Yes, they
People
are.
are wearing Baby Fat again. Kappa again. People are listening to 2000s R&B.
Fila.
Ashanti is cool again. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much 2000s R&B nostalgia factor that's going on with or without Chicks Tape.
Oh, yeah.
So to put Chicks Tape out at a time where the nostalgia factor is high,
good on him, man.
come on. Do you know how much easier he made a lot of DJs' jobs?
Oh, it did. He did.
Come on, fam. Come on.
What's your number 10?
Number 10 on my list is K Tronada Bubba.
Oh, okay. Talk about
very,
this.
very funky album. Again, I talked about it a few episodes ago. It was like I mentioned with Snow Allegra. It was, K Tronada has a very diverse range. He makes that electronic, Afro funk, soul, R&B, pop, soul. Like, we talked about this already. And with Bubba, he narrowed it a little bit, but executed better.
Okay.
So, if you want the range of sounds, listen to his previous album. But if you just want well-executed music in a slightly narrower genre, or subgenre, I should say,
this is
that album for that. And again, because it was just executed so well, he's one of those artists that has a very refreshing brand of music. And he's someone where, as long as he puts out a quality project, it's going to hover around my top 25 at the very least. And he did it with Bubba. So Bubba made it to my top 10.
Hey, shout
out
Bubba.
to the number 10. Number 9, I will double down here. So number 9 on my list was Ari Lennox.
Shout
Shea Butter Baby.
Shout out to Shea Butter.
This was like, if we had an R&B list, which you don't listen to R&B, so it's hard to have this conversation. Ari Lennox definitely would have been top 5 on an R&B list for me. I think she released one of the better projects this year. It's a true neo soul project. She has that soul voice to her, and I really think she was robbed at the Soul Train Awards. Like, robbed really badly.
I think she was robbed.
But her project, 12 songs, 45 minutes, it has absolutely no skips on there at all. It's just a really good, enjoyable project.
That's
right?
Good,
like
man.
something like New Apartment, as an example, which is one of the more well-known songs on the album. That could be the new birthday song for women or not women, but for people that buy a new apartment. You play the song, I just got my new apartment. I'm gonna keep the floors wet. You know what I'm saying? like that's some shit that you can just play and celebrate and kind of joke around with. She has moments like that. She has the bigger songs, like the actual title track, Shea Butter Baby with J. Cole. She has songs like Broke featuring JID, like BMO, Chicago Boy. There's just so many different, Whipped Cream, which is such a big song of hers, I think from a year or two ago. She executed very well on this. You love to see. This is basically what Tiana Taylor's project should have been, and not from a sound perspective, from an execution of the label perspective.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? So this, to me, is what Tiana Taylor's should have been. Ari Lennox was able to do that. Dreamville handled this situation very well. And I like that they seemingly allow Ari Lennox to be Ari Lennox.
That's good.
And yeah, this was one of my better projects for the year. Shea Butter Baby, number 9 on my list.
Perfect.
Number 9 on your
Number
list.
9 on my list is A Boogie with the Hoodie season. Let me just confirm that this came out this year. Actually, no, I was wrong. It came out December 21st last year.
Shit.
Either way, I'm still putting it on my list for this year because I probably didn't talk about it last year. I didn't put him on the rap because I'm not going to give. I refuse to bump my rappers out of the rap category for A Boogie with a Hoodie, just because even though he is considered a rapper, come on, man, he ain't no rapper.
I know what you mean.
So
almost like Smino.
Yeah,
Smino's considered a rapper, which is nuts.
But you're bumming out other people to put Smino in. Not say Smino isn't good, but it's just kind of like
no, it's so like
it's not fair to the other
It's
people.
so not rap.
Yeah, but
as much as it's rap, it's so
they have
not
nowhere
rap.
else to put it. So they put it under rap.
Subgenre of rap, like we've mentioned.
We've talked about. A Boogie with a hoodie season. It was 20 tracks, about an hour long. Just I like A Boogie's voice. I love when he does his singing thing. It works really well for me. There really isn't much to say about this album. It has a lot of features. The song with 6ix9ine, Swerving, is probably the biggest song on the track.
Just Swerving.
Yeah. Yes.
I hate that.
I
song.
love that track. I bumped that track crazy heavy. Nav's on this album. PNB Rock, Lil Durk, sorry, Don Q, my boy Young Thug, Queen Naija. Just honestly, just a solid good album. A Boogie is really good at what he does, and these are all streaming songs. At the end of the day, like this whole album is playlist music, but it's good playlist music. It's music that if you put on, everyone will be like, "Yo, what is that?" That's this type of music. So because of that, I gave my number 9 spot of the album of the year to A Boogie with a hoodie for hoodie season.
Shout out to the number 9s.
I'm gonna go with my number 85. Oh, sorry, my number
85. This guy stitched out his own number 8.
No one's gonna get it. Number 85 goes to Jadena.
Number 85, Ocho Cinco. What was What was the last episode called?
85.
Fuck,
I forgot what it's called. Number 8 goes to Jadena's 85 to Africa. Reason why I gave this my number 8 spot was because he went to his roots, man. He put Afro beats on these tracks, and I don't know. Oh, it's only because Afro beats in right now.
I need striped pants.
Like Jadena.
I need striped pants.
That man made every shit. That man makes everything look classy.
Damn, man, that's a classic man right there. Had to.
Yeah, he just went back to his roots, and he featured like African artists, so it doesn't just seem like he's biting their style. He put Seun Kuti. Seun Kuti. If you know him, he's big in Nigerian. His dad was one of the biggest Nigerian artists in the 60s. He also put Mr. Easy, who's Ghanaian, who is a known Afrobeat producer. Like, he makes some fire ass songs. Goldlink was on this album actually.
Yep.
And your girl Mariba was on this album.
Shout out to Mariba, Ethiopian princess.
All in all, it's really good. If you don't want to go all the way into the Afrobeats, if you're not into the Burna Boys and the Wiz Kids and the Davidos, listen to this. You know?
Drake.
And Drake.
No, because he said that on the Rap Radar interview, right?
He did.
Figured it's timely.
Give him his credit, I guess. Listen to this, and you will understand why Afrobeats is bumping. And Jadena did it right with 85 to Africa. So shout out to Jadena for number 8 on my album of the year with 85 to Africa.
True that. Number 8 on my list is going to go to Michael Kiwanuka's almost self-titled album. It's called Kiwanuka. This is a great album. The thing about Michael Kiwanuka, he almost, again, I don't know how to really categorize his music. It's part funk, part blues, part soul, part R&B, part pop. Like, it's hard to really
it's a little bit of
explain it.
Everything.
But he has one of the most unique voices that I've heard in music, period.
I need to listen to this guy.
And again, when I saw him live last year or the year before that, it still gives me shivers in terms of one of the better performances I've ever seen. So I rate Michael Kiwanuka as an artist. I think he's from the UK, if I'm not mistaken. I rate his album making ability, and he almost put himself in a seat at the table Solange scenario with his first album that he dropped, Love and Hate, because that was a classic.
Okay.
Classic. And it's like, how do you follow that up? And he followed that up with music that is arguably better than his previous album.
That's funny.
It's just really enjoyable music, really soulful music, really, again, blues-esque music in a lot of ways, but still pretty fun at the same time. And it's just a pleasure to listen to it. It's a very enjoyable listening experience. Again, it kind of snuck up on me as well. It came out in October, but it stuck right away. He's coming to Toronto not too long from now.
Is he?
And I'm definitely going to see the show live.
Of course,
but number 8 on my list, Michael Kiwanuka's Kiwanuka. Let's get into number 7. Now, neither of us need to spend time on this.
No, we do not.
Number 7 on my list was Young Thug, So Much Fun. We've talked about it.
And number 7 on my list was Young Thug, So Much Fun as well. It was without us even trying.
So we're going to move on. Number 6 on my list was Freddie Gibbs, Bandana. Now, again, at this point, we've talked about a lot of these albums already, so we don't quite need to reiterate at this point. So number 6 on my list was Freddie Gibbs with Bandana. Like I said, although I have him as Rapper of the Year, although I have it as second best rap album of the year, I have it as number 6 on my overall list.
Okay.
And this was actually the one that I took out Anderson .Paak for.
Damn.
I had to get Gibbs in there. I thought it was a better fit than Anderson .Paak.
Fair enough.
Would you have at number 6?
Number 6, I had Everything Is For Sale by Boogie. This is going to be our third time talking about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. Just to rewind a little bit, you'll hear us talk about it.
Number 5 on your list.
Number 5 on my list is The Baby's Baby on Baby. Say less.
7 times we've talked about it.
This guy's winning, carrying out the award shows.
Yeah, the baby won Bear Awards.
I want to do a count. Next episode, I'm going to do a count that you guys know who won how much.
Damn. Number 5 on my list is Tyler, the Creator.
Okay.
Igor.
Tell me about Igor.
Igor,
Why should I
again,
listen to
Igor
Igor?
was an album that I had number 1 for a long time. And I think what lost it for Igor was the staying power.
You don't think
It kind of got forgotten about.
It did. It really did.
It
was such a good album, and then it stopped.
Yeah, it didn't really carry itself out throughout the entire course of the year. And although that's, public opinion versus personal opinion, I still think it plays a role. And I think it does. It has a factor. But I have to really acknowledge the artistry of that album and the way that it was put together. It has remnants of Twisted Fantasy. It has remnants of Astro World. It has remnants of Jack Boys. I'm joking.
Have you heard that album?
It's garbage.
Okay, I'm still debating if I even want to listen to it yet.
I mean, it's not garbage. It's like a 7-track, 20-minute.
I saw that.
Sheck West trying to sound like Travis, and Travis not really doing much. And yeah,
we'll talk about it next week anyway.
We will.
I gotta listen to it.
Possibly, but no. Tyler, the Creator's Igor. Like I said, very well put together. Again, it's a story. I like albums that tell stories. As you can tell with the way I make playlists, as you can tell with the top albums that I have for the year, it's story based. It's more than just the music. It's the story behind the music and how they blend together and how an album comes together. And I think Igor was for a long time the greatest representation of that for the year. That slider is all the way up. But the other sliders have him at number 5 on my list. And we did yours already, right? So shout out to the number 5s. Number 4 on my list. Did you just change your list?
No.
You didn't have number 4, number 1 just now? Am I tripping?
I changed it sometime within the episode. I kind of moved it around a little.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
I had to move some stuff around.
Number 4 on my list is Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. That's just solely based to playtime. Like I said, who was it? JID was my top artist at 29 hours, and then Dreamville was my second artist at 28 hours.
Made no sense.
That's one album. I played one album for 28 hours. I'm sick.
Yes, you are. You have a problem.
You know what I'm saying?
You have a problem.
So that has to have the number 4 spot. And again, I've talked about a lot of the details of it already. So shout out to Dreamville, J. Cole and them.
My number 4 album is going to Burna Boy's African Giants. This album put Burna Boy on the map. If you know the go listen to this fucking album. I'm tired. But yeah, it's just he put Afrobeats on the map again. Like, it's just one of those albums that when you want to go into like a staple of rap, there's these albums say, hey, listen to these albums. You want to go into Afrobeats? Listen to Burna Boy's African Giants. Even has YG and Future on some tracks. So just letting you know.
YG 400.
That was my number 4 album.
Number 4. Shout out to the number 4s.
Burna Boy, African Giants.
Number three on my list is acclaimed, critically acclaimed.
I was say what thing was called acclaimed?
Solange, When I Get Home.
That's your album.
That is my album. The way that album has become a go-to album when it comes to a certain kind of listen. Like when I need to relax and clear my mind, that's the only album that comes to my mind. Again, I think about how much I played it as well. It was one of my most played albums this year, according to Spotify, and that's really the only platform that I use. And, you know, everything went well with this album. I don't care about how well A Seat at the Table is considered to be. I don't compare When I Get Home to A Seat at the Table. And I said it when the album came out.
You did?
Thievery is or what is it?
Comparison is
thievery,
something like that.
Thievery of Joy.
Yeah,
right? If you try to compare the albums, you will not think too fondly of Thing. I'm confused with the names now. Of When I Get Home. If you try to compare them, you will not think too highly of When I Get Home because it's in a different lane than A Seat at the Table was.
Fair enough.
To Pimp a Butterfly is in a different lane than Good Kid, Mad City, than Damn, than Section 80, than whatever.
They're all not the same albums.
But some people have Butterfly as their favorite Kendrick album.
Hey, you know what that is?
So I understand that. It might not be as lyrical as Mad City. It might not be as musical as Damn. It might be somewhere in between the two.
Everyone has their own taste.
But everyone has their own taste. Some people like Graduation more than Twisted Fantasy. Some people like Late Registration more than Twisted Fantasy. Because the artistry of Twisted Fantasy, they prefer the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I think with Solange, it's very much the same thing. You can't compare her albums with each other. And I think this album was executed so well with how different it was.
Actually, it got really good reviews, this album.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm glad it did because when it first came out,
people were hating on it.
People were hating because it's fun to hate, right? People listen with the intent to hate.
Yes, they do.
And we know that.
Yes.
And then they listen with the intent to criticize.
Yep.
And this album was criticized, and I'm glad that the time had the ability to sort of change the mind on it. Because again, it was a phenomenal album, one of the best of the year for sure. I just cannot put it above my 2 and my 1. But number 3, Solange, When I Get Home.
Fair enough. My number 3 goes to an album that came out in May. It's by a Canadian Brampton artist named Toby.
I rate that.
Album is called Still. This is just one of those albums. There's like 3 or 4 songs that I just can never get out of my head on this album. And it's one of those albums that when I'm driving late at night, my go-to, man. Like, I'm like, put on some Toby. Just play it. And he has such a soothing voice.
Yeah, and I got to see him perform live.
Yeah, she said that.
He's just as good live. I never really went back and played his music. All right, I'll be honest, I never really played his music in my car, so to speak. But watching him live, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker's talented, man.
And he's Nigerian. I'm Nigerian. There's just that connection. And so when he's saying certain things, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
You connect to it better.
He doesn't talk about his parents. I'm like, yeah, my parents would. Like, I was with my cousins today, and he made a joke that he's going to get his ears pierced. Oh, my God. This storm that arose. Everyone's calling people. Do you hear he's getting his ears? It's just an ears pierced. But in the Nigerian community, you understand why getting your ears pierced is such a big deal. Right. So when he says something like that, I'm like, you know what? I kind of get it. Like, a lot of people won't get this. So for me, it was just more of a personal, I know it's still a good album too, relationship with the album that made me really like this album and still listen to this album up to today. So Toby, Still, that's my number 3.
Number 3, I think number 3 on both of our ends were very unexpected. So listeners, check those out.
Totally coincidental. We don't plan this stuff out. We just make our list and then we talk.
Facts. Number 2 on my list, like I said, I couldn't find a hip-hop album that I enjoyed more than this.
Which album was this again?
So you have to assume hip-hop can't be my number 1. But maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. Number 2 on my list is Boogie's Everything's for Sale. Like I said, it's no skips.
No skips.
That to me is a classic. Again, I'm not comparing. Yeah, I said it. I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing the music itself, but I'm comparing kind of the way it came together. I think about Logic's Under Pressure when I think about Boogie's Everything's for Sale.
That's a good way to put it.
In terms of the quality, maybe not a classic, but it's that level just below a classic, and I think Boogie did that.
I gotta give credit where credit is due.
You know what I'm saying? So that's number 2 on my list.
Number 2 on my list is, I believe it's YBN Cordae, The Lost Boy. I don't need to say more about this. We both talked about this album.
Definitely.
We love it. It's his intro into the rap industry, and he did not fail. And we just want to see what else he can do.
Definitely.
But I'm not going to discredit his album.
Shout out to both of our number 2s, Boogie and YBN Cordae. Do I not have a drum roll on here?
You do have a drum roll because we used it last year. And the winner is... Wait, no, that was that was a Smash one.
It was
The winner is...
We have another one that's... It was right beside it. You used to do both.
It's right here.
There we go. We say it was mad long.
Okay, great.
Pause.
So we've given you the honorable mentions.
Yes.
We've given you 10 through 2.
Yes, we have.
It is now time for us to discuss what is each of our albums of the year, right? Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll start because I already talked about mine already.
Okay, don't say it until I do the following.
Okay.
Okay, no, wait. You say my da-da-da-da-da
And then
I will...
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
gotcha,
saying?
gotcha.
Okay, you do your thing, sir.
So my 2019 album of the year is...
And the winner is...
Psychodrama by Dave.
Jeez.
Surprise, surprise. Who didn't see this coming? I've been
Jeez.
talking about this album, like I said, for the last 6 months. And it's just a phenomenal album to me. Like, I relate to it. I like it. It's not about... Is it non-secular? Secular? Which one that Drake was arguing about? It's not secular music.
I don't
But
know.
technically it is, but it's technically non-secular music. But it's deep. It's not the basic stuff we hear every day on the radio. His album has no radio. It does have one radio hit. But it wasn't made for the radio hits. It was made for the lesson you learn from listening to it. So Psychodrama Dave, you are my album of 2019. And yeah, it's just amazing.
Now, for me, 2019 TNV Awards winner for the album of the year
Is, oh my God.
is...
I'm so nervous.
And the winner is...
I'm so nervous.
Why not?
Why not?
I'm giving it to Snow Allegra. Those
These
feels again. Likewise with yourself. You should have seen this coming by now.
Trust me. Man's going to 2 shows.
I'm going to 2 shows for the same album. I think I'm in love with Snow Allegra.
Yep.
And I think that has, I'm fucking with you, but I really felt a way about Michael B. Jordan in the music video.
This guy was mad jealous.
I was cheesed. I didn't watch the video.
This guy.
I'm not joking. That's the funny part.
This guy's like, I'm not going to get cheese.
Is that I actually chose not to watch the video.
Because of Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. Why is Michael B. Jordan in the video?
You don't know what she's doing. Maybe just a delivery man.
No, they're hugging up, kissing up.
Oh,
Boyfriend and girlfriend in the music video.
Oh, yeah, that hurts.
Fam,
I'm sorry for your loss.
That shit hurt, man. But like I said, man, it's just it's the stars aligning when it comes to Snow Allegra. It's just being a fan of her music for so long. It's hearing her change her sound several times. It's her finding that sound. It's her executing perfectly on the sound. It's her rise to popularity, growing in the right way. Court of public opinion growing in the right way. Established fandom growing in the right way. And just the way everything has come together for her. On top of that, having an album that literally is the first album that I think about when I open up Spotify. Like I said, I have certain albums that I do in certain moments. So if I want to go rapidy rap, I'll think Gibbs or Benny the Butcher. If I think about maybe a more emotional based album, I'll bump Boogie. Maybe if I'm thinking about something more calming, I'll bump Jhené Aiko or Solange or something like that. But if I just load up Spotify and say, I don't know what I want to listen to, I'm going to just go with... You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as I'm before I even think about what to play, I play the Snow Allegra album.
Damn.
And
that's a good album to you, man.
It's a really good album. It's no skips. Just so many different classics on here. I think some of her best music is on this album. I think she executed perfectly on this album, and I'm just happy for the success that she's had at this point.
And shout out to Snow.
My album of the year, 2019 official True North Views podcast winner goes to Snow Allegra.
Okay. That is great.
Now, let's wrap this show up, but we did say we would give them the bonus.
The specials.
Categories.
Not specials, the bonus, yes.
I don't know how you feel about these bonuses, man. Fuck them bonuses.
Do you want to just run through it, or do you
we run through it. I'm fucking with you. Let's run through it, man. We got a couple of decade conversations for you guys.
Yes.
We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier when a lot of the decade lists were coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But let's kind of summarize it for ourselves. And I will say, I'm gonna actually say not in order because I don't want to pressure the order.
Mine's not in order.
Top 5 albums of the decade, no particular order. Top of your head, go.
Take Care, Astroworld, Good Kid, Mad City, 444, and Watch the Throne.
Take Care. Fuck, I forgot about Drake.
Trust.
Okay, I'm gonna change mine. All right. Top 5 albums of the decade for me: My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Wait, was that last decade?
Is that 2009, 2010?
Yo, I'm off right now. What is going on?
When did My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy come out?
My Beautiful. It came out in 2010.
I found this on the web.
Shut up.
January 1st, 2010.
This guy made the cuts.
Yo,
you just made the cuts.
Wow.
Only Kanye would do some bullshit like that.
So I'm gonna go with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy for
That's
sure.
cool. I should put that there.
I'm going for Good Kid, Mad City for
Okay.
sure. I'm going with The Seat at the Table for sure. I'm going with Watch the Throne for sure. I'm going to go with Nothing Was the Same for sure.
That was Drake's favorite album.
And the album that I just took off of my list, so number 6, Anti by Rihanna. Then that's really all I got there. And top 5 artists of the decade, top of the head.
It's the same as yours.
Yeah, so we both said Kendrick, Drake, Cole, Meek,
Yeah.
and Kanye West.
Yes. There's honestly.
I don't think there's anyone to shake any of those 5 off of the
It
list.
really is, and
I think
those
the
guys
decade
were
belonged
cemented.
to those 5 artists, and
Definitely.
let's see what the new decade has in store.
I'm
for
actually
us.
amped to see the new deck. I feel like,
We're gonna see a lot.
yeah, with
We're
the
gonna see a
internet
lot of
age,
changes.
music is so accessible now that this new decade we're gonna get so much new music.
It's gonna be crazy.
Agreed.
It's gonna be insane. That's what we had for our awards, though, man. That's what
it.
we
End
had
of
for
the
our
year.
awards. End of the year, new year, new me.
Mhm.
Get prepared for those, of course.
Any new year goals? Like not the basic go to that jam, make money. Anyone that that's just different. That was like,
Let me see if there's anything I'm willing to share. I write down my goals every year.
I'll tell you one that I'm willing to share.
I've written them for the past 10 years or so.
Okay.
What do you?
It's use my left hand more.
Okay.
And I actually realized this playing basketball. I was like, I don't really use my left. I was like, in life, I really don't use my left. And then I read an article literally like probably 2 days after I said that to myself that said, yeah, try using your odd hand for just random tasks. Like you want to lift something, lift it with your left, not your right. You want to reach for something, reach for your left, reach with your left, not your right. So
yeah, that's a mindfulness exercise.
I'm trying to make a cautious effort of whenever I'm doing something to just try and do it with my left if possible.
That's dope.
I'm not trying to cut shit with my right, with my left. I'm still need my fingers, but yeah,
like that.
That's some light that I think I can accomplish.
I have a couple of things that I want to do. I want to learn how to play piano.
Okay, that's nice.
And the reason why I want to learn how to play piano is because I think it'll give me more of an appreciation for music.
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? I think just understanding it and hearing it, and piano is one of those instruments that are relatively universal in a sense of it belongs on every song to a certain degree. It can replicate a lot of other
songs.
instruments. You can play a lot of, people always, you know what I mean?
Like for the douchebags.
I can get on my Scotch Storch shit, you know what I'm saying? But no, I would say that's one that I'm willing to share. I want to learn how to play piano
That's cool.
in addition to learning a couple
Let
languages.
people know out there that we have.
So, I mean, that's kind of really all I got, right? I want to learn how to play piano. I want to learn a new language.
Languages.
I'm just a fan of learning.
I want to travel, man. I want to travel this.
Yeah,
next decade.
I want to visit at least 3 U.S. cities. I'm eyeing New York. I'm eyeing New Jersey.
Mm.
I'm eyeing.
Mm.
I'm eyeing. Shit. Hopefully North Carolina.
Mm.
Ideally Louisiana.
We're just talking about that.
Fuck, man. I'm telling you.
But anyway,
I got a lot of places in mind that I got a lot of things in store that I want to do for
me too, man.
2020.
You know, your conversation about going to Africa actually changed. Like this whole last week, I was like, yo, I want to go to Africa more than Europe
I'm telling
now.
you, man.
I'm like, yo, if I had money to travel somewhere, like I'm going somewhere in Africa. Fuck it, Europe.
It was like something just clicked where I'm like,
fuck a Europe. Like, no offense, not fuck
and
Europe.
that's what I'm
but
saying.
just like,
It's no offense. It's not to say you had Europe higher. It's just kind of the way our brains have been programmed.
right, exactly.
Right? European travel, Euro trip is a term.
Mm-hmm.
No one says Afro trip.
No one does.
Because it's fucking huge. But that's besides the point. But yeah, you know
there's places in there, man. There's
Absolutely.
places. So
Absolutely.
that's something on my decade list at least. I'll put there.
You know what? Let's leave it at that though
for
for
sure.
the listeners. We really appreciate you guys rocking with us as usual.
It's another
Shout out
year.
to the first time listeners.
Shout
out to the last time listeners. What do you guys think about our various lists? What do you think about the various recipients for our awards?
What would you add? What would
Rookie
you
of the
take
Year,
out?
Biggest W, biggest L,
Comeback,
album of the year, comeback,
Falloff,
underwhelming, Falloff. Like,
all
what
of
are your
them.
thoughts?
Yeah,
let us know what you think. We're probably gonna chop these up into bits, into a lot of different bits, and post a lot on IGTV.
I already know what it is.
So be out on the lookout for that. Otherwise, please cue the music. Because with that being said, that will bring us to the end, the unfortunate end of another episode of the True North Views podcast. As you can see, we're playing around with the motherfucking camera, a little more zoomed out today.
Let us know. Let us know.
The lighting kit is in the mail. It's in the mail. But yeah, man, fuck with us, grow with us, and we appreciate you guys rocking with us, man. And as usual, please, we ask for one favor, just one. Continue that conversation by telling a friend to tell 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 a friend. Yeah, I mean, that's 6 degrees of separation. Now, as usual, I go by the name of Harris.
You know me. I'm the skirt master. Mr. Triple Double No Assist. Stealing 64 mil from the TTC because I hopped that turnstile. You know what you're trying to pay. I'm an NBA champion. And you can call me Just Shola.
And I guess you just got to tell them that number one rule, please.
You know what I realized we didn't do today? We didn't plug.
That's okay.
I know. Yeah, okay. I just want to throw it in at the end quickly. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. True North Views.
True North Views.
Yes.
Follow us.
There we go. Number 1 rule, follow us. Number 2 rule, watch out for the wastemans.
Watch out for the motherfucking wastemans. It's the 2019 TNV Awards. It's the last podcast for the year.
Yes.
It's the last podcast for the decade. Shout out to us, a year and a half in the game. We're gonna keep going. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I mean.
You know what I'm saying?
In the meantime, it's the True North Views podcast. It's episode 86.
Drake did not like that line.
Skitty. Mad crackly. No cardio. No cardio.